Making Moves Monday. And the scripture is always good, so here's one for you. They shall build houses and inhabit them. They shall plant vineyards and eat their fruit. They shall not build and another inhabit. They shall not plant and another eat. For as the days of a tree, so shall be the days of my people, and my elect shall long enjoy the work of their hands. They shall not labor in vain, nor bring forth children from trouble, for they shall be descendants of the blessed of the Lord, and their offsprings with them. This is Isaiah chapter 65, verse 21 to 23. And on tonight, I want to talk to you about buying a multi-family unit. Hey, definitely don't forget to like, share, leave a comment on this actual video, and depending on where you're watching it from, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and then also to shop at my online store, Making Moves. Now, oftentimes when people are looking to buy a multi-family unit, one of the things that they're actually looking to do is to use it as a rental property. Meaning that they're going to rent out the different units so that they can actually make money off of the actual units. So if you went about doing this as rental property, you'll possibly pay either maybe 10 to about 15% possibly down on the actual place. So you'll pay that, and then once you actually pay that, then you'll be able to go ahead and actually rent out the properties if they're not being rented out already. Now, if they're actually being rented out already, then you don't have anything to actually worry about. And a lot of people who definitely have the money to do so, they look at properties that are already occupied and already full of people actually renting those. Now, the good thing about that is that you, as soon as you're able to make your down payment or you're able to get a loan on this, you're able to start making money right off the back so that you can start paying back the loan that you actually took out. Or if you just have the money like that and you're able to buy it straight out, then you're just instantly making money back into your pocket. So this is why a lot of people like to actually go about buying multi-family units that are actually already rented out by people, and people are paying rent to them because they know that, hey, as soon as I get this, I'm making money right off the back. Now, another thing, even if all of them aren't actually rented out at the time, that doesn't mean that a few of them may not have already been rented out, so that you can still get it and make a little bit of money, and then you can possibly get better loans in terms of people knowing that you have the potential to rent out the other ones that aren't actually rented out at the given point in time that you actually get the actual units. Now, it could definitely vary in terms of it could be a twoplex, a threeplex, or a fourplex. In most cases, people try to go for a fourplex when they're trying to do it as a rental property, just because they're able to capitalize on making 4 times the money based on the rent that they actually charge the people. Now, also too, a definitely good thing about doing this is that this is a way for you to actually start a business, because you can definitely say, hey, I'm a homeowner and I rent out homes, so therefore this is my business, and you can get tax deductions based on what you have to do to keep these properties up. And last but not least, if you get a place that doesn't have anyone in it and it's not occupied in any of the units, you can always set yourself up with Section 8, where they will help you to find a renter. And the good thing about this is that Section 8 will pay you half of whatever their rent is, or possibly a little bit more. So therefore, you won't have to worry about if the people don't pay, you not actually getting your money. Now, another way to get a multi-family unit and get it for a cheaper, basically down payment, is you actually living in one of the actual units. So this would be a owner occupied multi-family unit. So you can take one of the units and you can actually live in it. So if you're actually living in one of those units, then what you can actually do is you can take advantage of getting either possibly 3 to 5% down payment that you will have to actually do. So this means that you won't have to pay as much as a person who is just using it as a rental property. So with this being available to you, now you can take advantage of getting the property for a lot cheaper and not having to pay as much on the down payment if you choose to go to get a loan on this actual property. Now, the good thing about this is as you're living in the place, you can live there and then you can go ahead and rent out the other units. You can know what your tenants are actually up to and know, hey, if they're keeping trouble or they're making, some things go bad around the property, and you can figure out a way to actually get them up out of there. But then also too, you can take advantage of having a place to stay and live, and other people actually pay for it for you. Now, this is a good thing because this means that all the rent that comes in that you'll be collecting, it'll go towards paying where you actually stay, and then it will go towards paying any other bills or things that you may actually have. So this is definitely good. You're coming in on a cheaper end in terms of actually being able to get the property, and then you're actually able to stay there, and then all your bills that you have coming in, your electrical bills and things like that, you can have these things paid off by the people actually paying towards you. Now, in cases of let's say you've been living there for a while, but you don't want to really be around the people anymore, eventually you can actually move out of the actual unit, and you can move, if you move to a property or a home and it is maybe 100 miles away from that actual property, you can do this whole process all over again. You can find you another multifamily unit, and you can go and get it for 3 to 5% down, and then you can live in one of those units, and then you can rent out the others. So you can actually repeat what you have already done because you went and got another place 100 miles away, and now you are benefiting from renting that place out that you used to stay in and then renting the other place out. So this is something that you can actually do when you definitely live in the actual building that you're actually renting out. But like I said, you just have to make sure that you live in it for a year, and then that's 100 miles away, and you can move away and rent out that space that you were once living in, and then go live in another space and do the exact same thing. Now, let's just say that your money ain't necessarily right. You don't have enough to actually put a down payment on a place, but you see a multi-family unit and you actually want to get it, and you feel like it will benefit you in the future. There are two ways that you can use both of these methods that I mentioned before to actually get you a multi-family unit, by you actually doing what I usually call my full house method. And what I mean by that in terms of full house, you putting the money up together with other people to actually own it. Now, for one, as far as just having it as a rental property, you can possibly get 4 other people who are looking to make extra money, and you can say, hey, look, I got this 4-unit property, and we all want to make some extra money, and people are already living in it. I just need some help putting down the down payment on it, and you guys can all be owners of that same building, and you guys can all combine to put your money together to make the either 10 or possibly 15% down payment on the actual property, which you guys would definitely have to split it 4 ways, or if it's one other person, split 2 ways through 3 people, however many people you use to actually get it. You'll have to figure out a way that you guys can actually split the money. But the good thing about this is that you will actually have a property and you can still use it under your name as being a business owner, or you can, start an LLC, and then you could be known as a business owner, and you can get tax deductions based on the things that you have to do to actually keep the place up and running and going. So this is another way that you can actually do this and take advantage of having a property. And then if you and these people get along or whatnot, things are going fine, you guys can buy more properties with each other and continue to do the same thing and make the money off of the actual properties. And then eventually, if you guys are just that cool with each other, you can possibly say, hey, you could own this one and you could just take all the profit. I'll own this one and I'll take all the profit, and so on and so on. And you guys can make those changes, and then you all will have maybe one multi-family unit under your belt. Now, another way to go about actually doing the same exact thing as using other people to get a multi-family unit, you can say, for instance, if you or one of your family members lives in a different state, but you see that there's a good price on a multi-family unit, you may not actually stay in that state, but you and your family member could put on, or even a friend, can put a down payment on an actual place, and the one that actually stays in that state where the place is actually at, they can use it as them actually living there on a property, owner-occupied multifamily unit. So even though the other owner doesn't actually live there or isn't in that state, the one that does, they can put it down and they can get it for 3 to 5%. So then this way you guys are getting it for 3 or 5%. One of them is actually living there, so then therefore you guys get it on a cheaper end, and then you guys can still go ahead and split the wages with each other. And then this way you have yourself a multifamily unit, and you got it for a lot cheaper than paying 10 to 15% on it, or possibly in some cases 20% as a rental property. It'll be an owner-occupied property, but you and this other person or other people are able to actually split the funds that you guys are getting from the other different units that you're actually renting out. So this is a good way to actually go about getting yourself a multi-family unit, and it's definitely a good thing to actually do so that you can start making some money that's outside of your regular 9 to 5. Hey, so definitely, look into these things in terms of getting a multi-family unit. I definitely think for a lot of people, this is a good way to actually go, because as I was saying earlier, you're starting off by being, if there's people that are renting to you, you're starting off by actually getting money in your actual pocket. So this is why a lot of people prefer to do multi-family units instead of single families, because in single families, usually you're just paying all of the money, and as you pay all the money, it's just, yes, you'll own the place, but you're not bringing anything in. And in this case, you will actually be bringing money in, and then eventually you can go ahead and move somewhere else in the future. But as always, one move can change your whole life. Making moves Monday.